Namaste. I feel that today is a blessed day because we are in conversation with a guru, a teacher, a passionate individual, a visionary, an educationist, a policy maker, and above all, a soft-hearted person whose heart beats a little more when he meets people with distress and difficulty. Makam Krishnamurthy Sridhar, today popularly known as MKS, is with us. He is the recipient of Padma Shri 2024 for his lifetime contribution in the field of education. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste, sir. So we are covering several areas, sir, today in this conversation. Some moments of nostalgia. We have your experiences, the life lessons, and your vision for the future and the message for the youth. So we'll start our conversation, sir.
Thank you. Please.
Sir, how did this happen? Beginning from a humble teacher, making big strides in the field of education at the policy level and also at the grassroots. And today, you are the recipient of Padma Shri. So, what is your take on this, sir?
No, I think Dr. Manasa, let me share with you that I have not done anything extraordinary. I also did everything that as others have done. Neither more nor less. But one thing, what I feel, possibly what might have, every phase of my life, I lived it. In all sense. See, when I'm a student, high school or school, I lived as a student and took the maximum out of that. When I came to college or university, then I took maximum that I can. Added to that, my active involvement with Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad as a student organization made me much more exposed to students, youth, than in my as a student. So that gave a complete 360-degree understanding and perspective about education as a recipient. Then when I wanted to really pursue teaching as a career, I started with PUC and then came to degree, then came to post-graduation, then came to PhD kind of things. These are all different levels of education. Unless you live in all these levels, you cannot. These on one side. The other side, as a teacher, if you connect yourself to the student and the system and the environment, you can start understanding so many things much beyond. So I tried my best. For example, because of my certain challenges, I was not able to teach practical subjects. But then after a couple of years, I made it a point that I should not miss that experience. So I put all my efforts to do that. And like that, everything, all possible things that can be done at different levels, we started exploring, we started implementing. And one very, very important thing which has really made a lot of difference is when we used to agitate, protest, go to jail, all that on various student issues. See, this talking and thinking and discussing and fighting for problems over a period of time made us to think, of these solutions.
Exactly.
See, suppose if I restrict myself only to fighting problems, then possibly we would not have
You would not have got the perspective of solution.
solution.
Yeah.
So when after a particular stage with our own people in ABP and other organizations, and personally as a teacher also, we started thinking, how do we prevent problems? How do we address problem? What is the solution? That's how we started thinking more and about system, the institutional arrangement and things like that. So that is naturally that became part and parcel of the policy. So I don't think that it has happened by either design or you had some long-term plan. At every stage, wherever I have come across, whatever that I could get an opportunity, I lived it and picked it up and then started doing it. That's why when I got an opportunity to be part of these policy making bodies, then I was just thinking, is it so difficult? It never became, because you have the right kind of perspective. So if that right kind of perspective is there, all other things will take care.
So that is, you have covered the entire spectrum of education, sir, basically. So from as a student to teaching at different levels and having the experience of an organization which works in the interest of students and teachers, and then coming to the policy body, a complete experience.
And private and public.
Yeah.
See, from government angle, because of the kind of some opportunity, I could be part of the system. So from insider and outsider, both perspectives we could get.
Yes.
That micro, macro and all that.
So as a teacher, you have experimented many things in the classes, like whatever you have talked in the policy today, in the national education policy about teaching and learning process, student participation, and with respect to the curriculum, all these you have already experimented in the classes. So that was a very different perspective. So if you take a normal teacher, they would not be in a position to think about from the social angle, from the societal perspective, from real-time perspectives. So how is that possible, and how does it make you different from the rest of the faculty, sir?
No, I don't know whether I'm different from others or whatever.
No, but what I feel
possibly,
student,
when you look at possibly, you may look different. But what I feel is, one thing is, the policy is the result of huge, wide consultation. Going to people, asking them, understanding them and all that. But whatever may be the kind of process that we have followed. But ultimately it comes to how do you deliver? And because of somehow, I don't know, the very spirit of experimentation, trying out new things, that also gave a new perspective to me. And that became very handy in policy. I don't think that we have included because of myself, but it has become a natural process. So if you ask me who is the origin of these ideas in any of the policy, there is nothing like that. It's all a collective effort. But that gave us to think from a different perspective, little out of box. But that primarily because we tried out all these things from day one in our own personal lives as well as in a professional life. It became possibly like that.
Sir, can you recollect a few moments of your childhood and as a student, how it was, and when you went to the college? So, some nostalgic moments that has shaped you as what you are today. Because you have overcome several difficulties in your life over a period of time. And today you stand as an inspiration for a large population. And especially if you look at the disability sector, which constitutes 2.6% of the total population. So it's a big number. And you are an inspiration to all of us. So, how did your early days shape you, mold you, and what were your challenges at home, at school, or at college? What were the things?
So, if I look back, Dr. Manasa, let me be frank, you may uh, treat me as a Ghamandi Vyakti, an arrogant fellow, but what I feel is, let me be frank to you, ma, that I have never faced any challenge as such.
Okay.
I took life as
positive,
it.
Sir. That's a
No,
very
I took
positive.
life as it came.
Yeah.
If it has happened like this, it has happened. From where, how do we go ahead? I never thought that this is a challenge. In fact, at this moment, I remember a very good friend of mine who passed away just few days back, Sri Venugopal of Mysore, Venuji. In 1981, International Year of Disabled, Venuji is a very, very creative mind. One of the very rare persons I have come across. He was totally blind. He conceived a program in Mysore called Horabandhana Valaspandana.
Wow.
When your entire surroundings are sealed, how that inner self opens. I think that is the first time I looked back at my childhood. Until then, I just came, went, and all that. But that moment when he invited me to participate in that program, that made me to think, what is this Horabandhana? And how that Horabandhana opens out that Spandana within. So, what I feel is, looking back, so-called challenges, but one thing I tell you, ma, my father and mother, see, they played a very, very significant change agents in my life. Because now I can say that, now I am getting inspiration from somebody that is there, this is there. But you imagine a 4-year child who was normal suddenly became polio affected, and that boy has to be carried. How that father and mother would have taken it. So, what I feel is the kind of transition attitude. See, my father always used to say, whatever may be the challenge, you should not depend on anybody. That is one. Gospel truth number one. Number two, you should never feel that you are different from others. You are like anybody else. Third, whenever you lead any life, don't lead a life that you don't have something. You must always lead a life as though like anybody else. This made me, how do I address? And my mother followed up with saying, that in a motherly way, she used to do her things in a little different way. See, because I was to be carried, so she always used to tell me, eat less. If you eat more, they'll put on weight. Then it will be difficult for somebody to lift you. So she developed that
Such a
discipline.
good perspective about
That discipline she brought. And when my father, after some time, he himself designed a small wheelchair. He himself designed a wheelchair. So like that, lot of things. And when I was taken in a bicycle, he developed a career where I can sit with seat and all that. His own thinking. So that continued. And when I came to college and all that, then he started telling, that you will have to earn your own life. You will have to make your own life. You must be financially independent also. So you must earn and lead your life. You should not depend on anybody. Like this, at every stage they made me. But that initial turnaround and my life at Ishwari Prasad Dattatreya Orthopedic Center, Chennai, that 5 years, there was a tremendous learning. That Horabandhana was to the maximum. But that is what opened that Volaspandana. The real personality really came out. And so even today I go there not to recollect bad experiences, but to recollect, live that occasions that how we see this teamwork, collaborating with others, understanding with others, contributing collectively, all these things. See, there is a problem. How do you overcome the problem? Instead of just, thinking more and more about that problem. All these things made, and fortunately, after coming back to my own place in Hindupur, the kind of organizations, and they made me so feel very normal. And all the people, the family, the friends, and all of them, they started treating me equally. So I never felt anything afterwards. I really recollect an incident wherein, that during our BCom days, we went to some place in Hyderabad, some zoological park. One of my friend, he wanted to have a photograph. He lifted me and photograph we had. And I was just like this. After the photo got over, he just left me.
God.
I just fell down. Then he became very anxious and nothing happened. But then after 1 or 2 days, I asked him, why did you do that? What happened? You know what he said? That's a great lesson for me. Sridhar, I never felt that you can't walk. That's extremely good feedback for me. Whether you start making others to feel that you don't have anything, or whether you feel normal. That is possible only when you start feeling normal, others will also feel normal. And especially after Narasimha came into the scene 40 years back, he made my life so that I never looked back. So therefore, I don't think, that I had challenges, so-called challenges maybe, but this is what happened, the family, the society, the organizations. And one thing is very clear, after some time, we got an ideal in life. This is our mission in life. And once that came up, all other things became second.
Actually, you have followed 100% the life lessons which has been told by your father, sir. That's what, after observation, that's what I'm feeling. Because one is you are very normal with everybody, and then others also feel the same thing. That is one thing, whatever your friend said, 100% it is true. And then all the efforts that you have put all these years, so I felt that it was 100% you have followed the life lessons taught by your father, and certainly it has molded you in this manner. I think it's a very, very good message for all those who are watching this program, that this is how we need to live, living in the present. So you have lived in the present,
Correct.
and whatever challenges you had, and you did not bother about that. You did not perceive them as challenges, and it has become a very positive note. And I wanted to ask you one more question, sir. Like, we all come across people. We have a guru, and we have so many people who would be influencing us all throughout our life, and some life support kind of a team that works with us. So, what is your say on this whole ecosystem that you have, sir?
See, basically, one is the family, the basic family. And then beyond that is one Narasimha's family. When I say Narasimha's family, all such people who were instrumental from day one, kind of. Then is the question of friends, relatives, and lot of organization people, and what I can say, the various systems that are there. All this ecosystem, because of the existence of this kind of a ecosystem only, you can start operating. See, minus this ecosystem, minus these actors, you can't really do it. Some of it is happening.
So
God,
we are part of the bigger whole.
correct. So therefore, and I also feel God has been kind, with good health, good spirit. I think that fellow has also helped me. I'm not meaning anything,
Yeah.
in a different way when I call fellow. I'm feeling normal, that's why. So that's why the whole lot of doctor, everybody has contributed. I think that ecosystem is extremely critical. But let me tell you one thing. No ecosystem can be built by others rather than by yourself.
Well said, sir.
See, you cannot expect an ecosystem to build for yourself. That's how you will have to start building an ecosystem. Building not in any deliberate manner. That happens. That evolves.
So one good quality that I admire is that the ecosystem, when we talk about the ecosystem, I know that you had more than 30 batches of students, or some 40 batches of students, and then you have so many people in the organization, and you are connected to everybody. Everyone feels that they have a connect with you. And then you remember all students by names, their families, their growth, their children. So everything, you have some kind of a picture, kind of a memory about everyone. So I feel that you have great capacity, sir. So that's how you could build this ecosystem.
No, see, I
How do you
don't.
connect to people like that, sir? So passionately.
No, I love every human being. That's all. In a genuine way. No doubt, I observe plus and minus things that will always be there. Nobody is complete. But if you start connecting with people through hearts, it will happen. See, even if somebody has come to harm you, then if you do not have any such animosity, that has happened. It has happened to me in any number of instances. How people wanted to trouble me for their own reasons. Fine. It's okay. Chalta hai bhai. Isme kya hai? I think that is very, very important. It happens. I think there is, it's a law of nature possibly, that an appropriate ecosystem will be built. How all that, I don't know.
Good intentions and good things.
Possibly it must have happened. And I don't make any effort to remember anybody. It happens naturally, that's all. Say, I don't follow any memory technique, things like that.
Okay.
See, if you love something, and sometimes I don't remember, which I frankly say, I am sorry, I miss your name. Isme kya hai? Why should I feel ashamed? My reputation is affected and all that. So therefore, this is what I feel.
Sir, you are an institution builder, basically. So, with organization Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad, the role you have played in Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad, and further building, rejuvenating Center for Education and Social Studies, which is now hosting this talk also, and to Chanakya University as the founder chancellor. So, you have a lot of work that you have done over a period of time. So, how could you build a vision for these organizations, and what are you thinking about that should happen through these organizations in future, sir?
See, this is very, very important, because any efforts that you do as an individual will always have limitations in terms of various things. A, in terms of sustainability. B, in terms of the holistic components, the integrated thing. And C, also in terms of various other things. See, suppose you restrict yourself only to an individual. Only the individual ideas, likes, dislikes, personality become very, very...
intervene in the growth. It becomes
But if you don't build an institution, then what happens is, you'll have to somehow, today or other, you'll have to merge yourself into that. Otherwise, self-identity becomes too much, and this will unnecessarily create a lot of issues with people. So therefore, beyond a point, we need to do that. But then for building an institution, what is very, very important is, how do you build institutions which are contemporary in nature? You should not build institution of today which holds good for the needs of some yesterday, but for today. And that today must become tomorrow. And if you are very, very dogmatic about institution, mane aisa hi rehna chahiye, it must be like this only, then you will have saturation. See, you must be, it must be in the flow. See, you must try to understand what's happening with a very reflective mode, number one, and with lot of self-introspection, review. Then you start reinventing the wheel. Whether it is...
a constant reflection is...
that is very, very important. Great, that kind of experience that we had, especially ABP, that the students are floating. But the organization, the work, the methodology is all constant. So how do you match floating and constant?
Yeah.
That's a very, very important thing. I think that's a very, very important lesson for anybody who builds an institution. People should not be permanent, but the institution, its objectives, values, your culture must be permanent, must be, sustainable. How do you do that? That's where all these things come, and that is going to matter for any institution, whether it is university, whether it is a mass organization. But the finer things may vary. The finer things may vary. From CESS to university, it may vary. But the basic principle is more or less same.
So that's a combination of constant and moving. So even for an individual, inside whatever principles that we follow, that needs to be constant. But we are working in a environment which is always changing, right, sir? So that combination of constant and moving is very, very critical for institution building as well as an individual building also. So when you said contemporary, like students, I observed that you talk to even the youngsters and then try and find out what are their aspirations and how they think, because they are the new generation. So I think that is bringing some kind of a difference in your thought process also, sir.
Correct, naturally. See, even though I may have some experience, but I need to keep on questioning my experience also, my conclusions also, because it is evolving. How do you think that whatever you say is the gospel truth? And that you can always see it from the angle of a today's generation rather than from yesterday's generation. See, they look at things in a completely different way. See, for example, I used to think at some point of time, taking more classes is the great characteristic of a teacher.
Yes.
Later on, I realized the less you teach, you will become more effective teacher. If I have to transform to this, I must have that open mind. I must observe the chap. I must understand the chap. So therefore, this is all very, very important. Say, for example, the typical teacher also thinks that student should not come late, but the teacher can come late. But I always used to think, Dr. Manasa, if student come late, only one student comes late. If a teacher comes late, it is 1 minute delay multiplied by 50 students. It is 50 minutes late.
That's an amazing.
So what is applicable to them is equally and more applicable to you. When I take things in that way, I appreciate, I learn, I grow. That's all.
Sir, I have two more things. I just wanted to know about your vision for the future. What you're thinking, what should be done, and how the future looks like for you.
See, how it looks like to me, I'm not able to visualize that great kind of thing. But what I feel is, if you follow the basics of life, it will be extremely good. As an individual, as a family, as a society, as a humanity. But then the question is, do you live in the past, or do you live in the present, I think most important thing is all of us have to live in the present,
Not even in the future.
not even in the
The
future.
future. Exactly.
Because I heard yesterday, I was talking to the chairman of UGC, Professor Jagadish Kumar. Do you know what he said? Tremendous statement he made. Professor Sridhar, I believe in today. And I believe that today is my last day on this planet. What best I can do, let me do it. So all of us have to really live today.
Yeah.
And if you start living today, it will be taken care tomorrow, day after, and all that. So I think that's a very, very important thing. Let us live for today. But it must have that connect with the past. Connect with the past is very much needed. But then we don't know whether it will lead you to future or not. We don't know. Because I don't know, I cannot imagine how many
So we have
more
heard
here.
about here and now.
That's all.
That's it. Yeah.
I'm
It's
here.
the best philosophy.
By the time I go down, I may not be there. Who knows?
So one last thing, sir. We'll be closing with this, and just wanted to know what is your message for the youth. Like you are an ardent believer of building this nation. Only youth can build the nation. So that is your strong belief. And what is how each individual can contribute to the country to build this nation and make it a better place for everybody. So I just wanted to have one last thought on this.
No, what I feel is don't develop too many complex formulas, complex theories. Whatever we do, can we do things in a better way? Whatever I do, if I start doing that, I think things will be far much better. What I have done yesterday, what I am doing today, is this better than yesterday? Or is this better than some half an hour back? Is this better than the previous time? If I start doing that, I think it will always happen. This is what
That's the biggest contribution.
that's all.
Whether it is to the nation or the community or
Whatever it is.
to whomsoever. Yeah.
And that is possible. With this kind of ecosystem built around you, and if you start living today, and if you can, how do you start working about how do you improve things, how do we make things better? It will always happen, it will always happen better. I think this is what I personally feel. Minus any theories, this, that, and all. Very complicated issues. Life must be made very simple, Manasa.
Yes.
It must be made very simple.
Correct.
As simple as possible.
So we complicate ourselves.
We unnecessarily complicate.
Things and then
ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನೋ ಸೇರಿಸಿ ಅದು all that.
look at only problems.
Correct.
And all that. Yeah.
So let us make it very simple. And actually, it is the simple things which make better life.
So thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Very nice. I enjoyed talking to you. So nice.
for this
You took
conversation.
time. And so, very nice. Whatever I felt, I have said.
Thank you so much, sir. This program was organized by Center for Education and Social Studies. My sincere thanks to Director Gaurisha and the entire CESS team, Dharani and Sindhuja, all of them, Narsima, who have made this event possible. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Namaskar.